Welcome back, everyone, to Poppin' Often with Lofton. Today, we are going to be talking about exquisite tools. Are exquisite tools worth it? Which ones should I get? Newsflash, not all exquisite tools are actually worth it. I've crafted every single exquisite tool, so you don't have to. Now, for those of you that are completionists like me, you want everything the same. But for those of you that are like, well, I don't want to spend 3,000 on a tool I'm not going to use, you really don't want to get it unless it actually benefits you in some way. This video is for you. So we're going to start with the Exquisite Axe. So what does the Exquisite Axe actually do for you? The Exquisite Axe gives you more damage. So let's just go over here and go to this shoe real quick. Now, the Exquisite Axe obviously gives you more damage. As you see, I'm chopping it down. It took 4 hits. Cool. Okay, who cares? You know, I can chop it down faster. That is true. Who cares? But the Exquisite tool also allows you to break medium flow trees by yourself, and even big flow trees by yourself if you animation cancel properly. Now, I don't have a flow tree, but I'm going to demonstrate on this tree. So here's what animation cancels look like. So you see that's 2 hits, and then the final 2 was animation cancel, right? I don't know why I didn't register, but the final 2 were animation cancels. So you can see the difference. All right, so I'm gonna demonstrate the slow and then the animation cancel one more time. So 1, 2, this is slow, animation cancel, animation cancel. So you can see the difference between the two. When you're attacking medium trees, it doesn't give it a chance to regenerate its HP. And then, like I said, with the big ones, you have to be on point. You can do it, but I honestly just don't go through that much work, especially because it's a lot of wear and tear on your axe. So is the Exquisite Axe worth it to get? If you are a solo player like myself, and you don't really want to bother others to come across a map to help you out, maybe you want to get on for like 10 minutes and get some things done, you don't really have enough time to wait, I highly recommend this. But if you have friends you play with all the time, if you have a community you play with all the time, I don't think it's not really worth sinking 3,000 gold into, because your teammates or your friends are always going to be faster than that axe by yourself. The next tool we're going to talk about is the fishing rod, the Exquisite Fishing Rod. The Exquisite Fishing Rod gives you more HP, but it also gives you a faster reel-in time. So theoretically, you can catch more fish than someone else, especially if you have that boost, because you can reel in faster. I'm also going to demonstrate what the HP looks like. So we capture it, look how much HP you get. Obviously, the tougher the fish, the faster it goes down, but I'm telling you, it is very rare that I lose a line. Especially when we're using glowworms, the fish can be pretty tough. But as you see, I have a lot of HP to work with, and when you're reeling it in, it's way faster. So keep that in mind when you decide to get this. So this is something I think everyone should get. The reason why is because there are recipes that require specific fish. There are missions that require specific fish. There are the story missions that require specific fish. So you really are going to need to catch certain fish at certain times. And if you're using a glowworm, these are going to be some really rare fish. So I highly recommend getting this fishing rod. Next, we're going to talk about the Exquisite Bow. The Exquisite Bow allows you to shoot further. That's it. It doesn't actually provide you any more damage. However, some of these creatures are extremely fast and they get away from you a lot easier. So it's really up to you if you would like to have the range. I personally think it's a necessity. As you see, I can launch this one here. I can launch this one here. I can launch this one here. Like, it's far. I can literally just do this and just pop them. And like, even if it runs away like that, I don't really have an issue. Because, okay, that's really far. I highly doubt I can pop that. But what I'm saying is, like, check this out. So here's a demonstration. So if you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna shoot you real quick, bam, and then it runs, you don't have to chase it. You can just let it do its thing, and as soon as it stops, dude, that thing is gone, isn't it? Where did it go? There it is. As soon as it stops, like it's nothing. Like it's way easy, because then you just go back. Like I could pick off this whole entire field without moving a muscle. I mean, I'm walking, but you know, neither here nor there. Just pick off this entire field, and this is why I feel like it's worth. I picked off that entire field from like one spot. Highly recommend, especially when you're dealing with the mythical deer and the mythical choppas. it's the goat. And then you just go ahead and you know, reap your reward. So as far as this bow goes, or as far as this exquisite bow is concerned, do I recommend getting it? Yeah. Yes, 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 undoubtedly yes. Especially if you enjoy hunting. Oh, this is the bow for you. The next tool we're going to talk about is the Exquisite Belt. The Exquisite Belt gives you a higher stun chance on the bugs that you catch. So let me try to see if this will not die in one shot. See? So the stun allows it so that I can actually continuously hit it without it moving away. Now, the higher you get in terms of bugs and rarity, the harder it is to catch them. They are extremely fast. They take about 10 to 15 bombs. I mean, it's nuts. This allows it so you can hit it with that initial stun, boom, and then you can just continue to chuck it. Bam, 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 bam. And it's an easier time catching it. Now, you could say, well, I could just craft slow bombs, and that will be pretty much it. Yeah, they're not stunned, but they're slow. And to that, you're right. You can do that. One requires resources every time, however, and the other, which is the Exquisite, doesn't require any resources other than that initial purchase and that initial resource to make. The choice is yours. However, I will say, whether you craft the slow bombs or craft the Exquisite Belt, they are not really needed. You can get the job done with anything. It's going to be a little bit more difficult for you because you can't stun them or you can't slow them, but if you're good at shooting in shooting games, or you know, you like a challenge, I highly recommend just not upgrading it. You can even stay with the starter belt. To be real with you, you could just stay with the starter belt and just do that. I do not think it's worth upgrading unless you just are trying to complete everything across the board. The next tool we're going to talk about is the Exquisite Axe. Is the Exquisite Axe worth getting? Well, when you're destroying small things like, well, not small, but when you're destroying weaker things that are not Palia ore, it is significantly faster to just break them with the Exquisite Axe. Here, as you see, stone takes 2, these ones took 3. It's way faster. And when we're talking about destroying clay, I mean, it's obliterated. You can get to the mining node and then just straight up leave right after. No questions asked. It's way, way faster. However, just like the axe, if you play with friends, if you call people over, if you have a community or whatnot that you like to roam around with, I highly recommend not getting this because, again, just like the axe, your friends or your community, they're just going to be way faster than this axe by yourself. So if you're calling people over anyway, you might as well just not get it. So for the next 2 tools, I bought a fresh soil patch to just demonstrate the 2. So the first thing we have is a hoe. Now, before I bought this, I was a little skeptical. I was like, gardening is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be chill. It's not supposed to be fast and rushed. Then I got it and I was like, okay, no, I see where y'all going with this. So here's me clearing 1 square. That's ridiculous, right? So let's just clear all of them. Like, look how fast that is. And if you guys didn't know, you can sprint. So I can sprint and move a little faster as I'm doing this. And the same thing goes for the watering can. You can sprint and move a little faster when you are watering. All right, so I'm gonna plant some seeds here. Just some carrots, nothing crazy. Just plant a little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. All right, now let's take a look at the watering can. So again, one of those things where I was like, well, it doesn't really matter. I want to be chill. And then I got the watering can and I was like, okay, I can see what y'all doing. So let's go ahead and put it in the middle. And just like that, the whole tile. You can't make this stuff up. Let's try one more time. Just like that, the whole tile. Without moving a muscle. So, I mean, those two just speak for themselves. But those are conveniences. I feel like if you have a lot, like way more than me, when you have a lot, it'll be worth. So let's recap everything and see which tools are worth getting, which ones are not. So with the axe is worth getting if you are a solo player. You can chop down flow trees by yourself, medium and large. Large will require you to animation cancel and never mess up. It's not really worth though. I would call someone over for the large ones, but for the medium ones, you can go ahead and do that yourself. And for obviously any other trees without the flow, you can do it yourself. This is more of if you're a solo player. If you're someone that plays solo, or if you're someone that doesn't really want to bother other players by calling them over, if you want to just get on for 10 minutes and get your stuff done and then get off, this is for you. If you're someone who plays with a party, a group, you like to call people over, just skip it. stay with the level 2. It's not worth wasting the material. Next is the Exquisite Rod. Again, highly recommend if you whether you're solo or with a group. It's a really good rod. However, I will say I wouldn't invest in it unless you are going to do fishing. Don't just get it and then never fish again. It doesn't make much sense. But when you're trying to do things for fishing, because recipes are going to need it, missions are going to need it, relationships are going to need it, get this. You're not going to be, trust me, it's worth it. Next one we're talking about is the Exquisite Bow. The Exquisite Bow, hit or miss. I feel like it's definitely necessary because you can do a lot from far and then just reap the rewards. I do know some people like to walk around and kind of work a little bit harder, but I'm not one of those people. I would rather just sit here and just pick off. Pick, 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 pick. And it also prevents you accidentally scaring things by getting too close. Sometimes you get really close because you're like, well, if you run off, I want to be able to hit you. Well, you can get pretty close with this, and if they run off, you can still shoot them because it shoots so far. I highly recommend it. The drop off is, you can't even tell the drop off unless you're shooting miles away. Highly recommend. The Exquisite Belt. If you feel like you're someone that has a hard time catching bugs, get this. The alternative is just getting slow bombs. Don't really have much else to say about that. Not really something that is worth investing materials into unless you're just trying to get the entire roster, or again, if you just really struggle catching bugs. The Exquisite Hoe. Definitely necessary if you expand your garden, but if you're not expanding your garden or you're not gardening at all, not necessary. You can get by with just the regular one. The same thing with the can. Really good if you have a big garden because it's going to take a lot of time, but if you're someone who's just starting the garden or you don't really pay too much attention to the garden, don't even worry about it. Build your soil plot up first, have a lot of crops, and then invest into this. And then the final thing here is the Exquisite Pickaxe. Pretty much of the same line of the regular axe. If you play with a group, it's not really worth it. But if you're solo, you're trying to get things done, and you got to get off, or you just don't really like to bother people, you like to do your own thing, the Exquisite Pickaxe is definitely the go. So for me, if I were to recommend people anything, I would say get the rod when you're going to go fishing. Get the bow if you're going to like hunting. Get the axe and the pickaxe if you play solo. And then if you're gardening, get these two. I don't really think you should get the bug thing at all unless you're just trying to complete it like I was. So I hope this helped you guys out. If you guys got any questions, let me know in the comments below. I'd be more than glad to answer. I pour so many hours into this game, it's ridiculous. So I probably will have the answer for you. Just ask. Join my Discord if you want to ask me there, if you want more of an instant reply. And of course, if you guys are missing out in the community, feel free to add me, pop it often. I will accept you and invite you to my community. Or you can add my moderator that might be on as well, Zaya, Z-A-A-Y-A. They will add you to the community. You guys can be in that. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. I hope this helped, as I said before. And until next time, know what I always say. Thank you guys for doing what? Popping off. Pull off.